we've just stopped here for gas.
Yeah, we were coming back to our truck, and I'm like, what is that? I'm a nosy person, and I love horror movies, and I seen the RIP, so I'm like, oh, it's a horror movie. Let's go read. Let's go read.
You thought this Bus was a horror film.
Yeah.
You're kind of right.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I've had those days when I really thought I was in a nightmare. I have 7 children.
So you stopped here, and then you...
Yeah, I walked around, and I was like, there's nobody there. And then I saw him, and I was like, wait. He told me to hold on a minute. And I decided to ask what was the bus about. Was it about making of a horror movie, or what was it exactly about? And when he started talking about it, you know, it kind of hit me because, like I said, I have 7 kids, 2 with autism. So,
all right. So, who are you, first of all?
All right. My name is Christina Santiago. I'm from New York, but I have 7 kids. They grew up in New Jersey. Well, I lived in New Jersey. I have 4 girls, 3 boys. My oldest son, Akyli, he's 23, and my son is 10, and they're both autistic.
All right, and so tell us the stories of your 2 children that are autistic, and you know, from your point of view and what you think. And
okay,
I mean, let's take the first one. Was it your first child?
My first child, my oldest, my son. I was 16 when I had him. When I had him, he got his shots. We came home. Everything was okay.
Was he okay before his shots?
Yeah, we thought he was fine. You know, young parents, we just figured everything was okay. And then one day he just would cry all the time. And, you know, we took him to the doctors, and they said that he was colic, and he didn't do that before, but he started doing that.
So just going a little bit slower, what age did you get the shots that he declined after? Was he...
I want to say maybe around... He was younger than 3, maybe like 2, maybe 1.5, 2, around
right
there. That's when we really started noticing, because he was making sounds, and then he made no more sounds. All he would do was cry and just scream and yell, and absolutely no sound. So, you know, it kind of freaked us out because we didn't know what was happening, and I was having my daughter.
So you were pregnant with your daughter, and so you were 16, you were very young, and you went back to your pediatrician and said, look what's happened to my son. And what happened then?
They basically said, you know, that he was fine, that he was just colic, and gave some medication for colic, and it didn't go away. And then they said he had gas problems, and it didn't stop. You know, he was just getting more aggressive, more violent. He didn't talk. He did all kinds of crazy things. He started it was crazy. He spread poop on the walls, and he attacked my daughter. He would attack her, and he was always screaming and yelling. We didn't know what was wrong. They recommended putting him on Ritalin, and we did that.
Did they say why he should be on Ritalin?
No, at that time they didn't. They just told us that would be best for him to kind of calm him down, because he'd be all over the place. So we had put him on Ritalin, and I hated the results. He was kind of in a zombie mode, so we took him off. And we had problems with school because of that. School wanted him back on the meds, and I didn't like it. I kind of felt like he was addicted, because when we took him off, he would go search for, you know, the meds. He's older now, and he's been off of meds since before he was out of elementary school. We took him off, and we homeschooled him too, so we put him back in school later on. But he had no speech. He would always cry and move his hands. And
how old is he now?
He is 23 now. He started speaking when he was 8. He got a scholarship to college. They told us he would never finish high school. They told us he would never get a license. They told us that he wouldn't really speak. But like I said, he's 23. He graduated high school. He wound up getting a 2-year scholarship to college, which he decided he didn't want to go. He's awesome. He loves having conversations.
Can he live independently?
Yes, he can. We're working on that with him now, because he's used to being around the smaller children. Like I said, I have 7, so he likes to be around them. He drives a motorized bike everywhere. So there went the theory of he wouldn't be able to get around on his own and do things on his own. He loves to cook.
And he's had no more vaccines since?
No, I stopped him straight off that because I figured there was something that wasn't right.
So you've got 7 children, so that was your first child.
Yes.
And so is the next child that's...
Yeah, he's number 6. My youngest son, he's number 6 in the 7. We wound up putting the children back in school, and in order for him to go to school, he had to get vaccinated. He was different.
Okay, so let's go back on this story. So it's your 6th child, and had you vaccinated your other children?
No.
Okay, so how was he developing up until the vaccines?
He was doing really good. He had no problems at all. He was starting to say words also. Kind of the same like Akyli. Just only difference was when we gave him the vaccines, he stopped speaking.
Okay, so what age did you give him the vaccines, and why when you hadn't vaccinated all the others?
It was before, it was like preschool age, so around maybe 4.
And he hadn't had any vaccines up until then?
No.
So
I moved between that to the Middle East. I took my whole family to the Middle East for 5 years, and then we came back home. So that's when we decided we're going to put him in school and get normal jobs, and so. And
so when you took him in for those vaccines, because he hadn't had any, do you remember how many he had that day?
Oh, he had a bunch. They gave him a couple on one arm, like 2 on one arm. They gave him 1 or 2 on one leg. He had a lump on his leg for days. They said that was a reaction because he didn't have any vaccines, because he had to have so many done at one time. I don't remember how many it was, but I know he had more than 4 that day. They said it was normal to have the fevers, and he went through the same changes, and we kind of wondered, like, is this the same? But we weren't really sure. On the good side, it was easier because even though he displayed some of the things as my oldest, he was on the whole opposite end. Like, he didn't speak, but he was super friendly, and he always wanted to be around me, whereas my son didn't want to be around anybody at all.
So what was the reaction you saw after what happened to him?
Well, like I said, after a couple of, I think maybe a couple of weeks after the shot, he just stopped talking. He would just sit there and start rocking. He started doing the rocking, and he'd run. He was all over the house, and I have a son with ADHD, so he didn't exhibit that in the begining. So to us, it was weird that, now he's doing these things he didn't do before. He's started stacking. He'd stack the Legos and stack his cars, and didn't want his sisters anywhere near his stuff. And that's when we realized, like, okay, we got to send him to a neurologist, because there's a problem with him as well. So,
and what did the neurologist say?
The neurologist told us right away that he had autism, and we should put him in a special needs school. And he didn't explain to us why. That was his diagnosis, and we wound up putting him in a special needs school for around a year or 2, and then we tried to integrate him, but that was kind of difficult when you take them from, kind of being taught one way into putting them in a classroom with regular children. It can be frustrating on the parents and on the kids as well. Right now, he's homeschooled right now. His dad
How old is
homeschools.
he now?
He is 10. He homeschools now.
Okay. Well, I mean, wonderful to meet you. Wonderful that you just saw the bus and came and told us this story. What we are doing is writing the names on the back of the bus of those that have been affected by vaccine injury. So would you be prepared to write your children's names?
Sure,
on the
no
back of the
problem.
bus? Okay, let's go and do it. It's very hot. Hot. The back of the bus is so hot.
Just wipe it down a little bit just to get some of the dust off.
You see, this is just, we haven't even really started our tour yet. And this is just people. That is cool. So now, Periscope pics, what number are we at?
Anybody on Periscope now?
There's 43 there.
43, so 41 and 42.
And then 43.
We're at 44.
44. Okay, yeah, that's fine because that's just one. So 44.
Right here?
So you got two children that's 44 and 45.
Or 44,
Use the rag, because it's super high.
So put it on top.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you.
Oh, it's good to meet you.
I definitely gotta follow you guys, so I will definitely go on there and follow you because I want to see how far this goes.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes, ma'am. Also, if you guys go to Washington, you'd probably be able to talk to me yourself.
Well, no, that would be good. So I'm going to stay in contact. If you can give your contact details to Patrick. He's our man for that. But it was so lovely to meet you. Thank you for stopping by and sharing your story. We so appreciate it.
All right. Bye. And is this go to?
Thank you.
Thank you.
See? Vaxxed bus. More damage, more injury. Onwards and upwards. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is get back in the bus. I've got to get an update from Patrick. I'm really not sure what we're doing, whether we're staying here or heading on out. So as soon as we know, we'll give you a nice update from the bus. Thanks for being with us this morning, people. And